Inside America's Boardrooms, the informational show for board members and corporate secretaries. Brought to you with Knowledge Partners, NASDAQ, the Center for Audit Quality, and PwC. Along with content contributors Equilar, Meridian Compensation Partners, Wilson Sonsini Goodrich and Rosati, Donnelly Financial Solutions, and the Society for Corporate Governance.
Welcome to this edition of Inside America's Boardrooms. I'm TK Kerstetter, the host of today's show and the CEO of Boardroom Resources, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to the show. Today we're going to be talking with a board veteran and asking for tips on how boards can be more effective. And let me welcome Cynthia Fields, who's a former board member with Intimate Brands, Blair Corporation, Chico's, and Boston Proper. She's also the former CEO of Victoria's Secret Direct and currently is launching a CynthiaFields.com, a direct-to-consumer dress line for professional women to wear from the boardroom to the dinner tables. So welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
So we're going to tap a little bit of this board experience that you've had. You served on, again, as we said, 4 boards, 3 public, 1 was private. And I want you to go back, because we want to sort of tap your experiences. I want you to go back and tell me sort of 3 things that you experienced that you knew that boards could have improved on in the way they sort of handled their process. So,
only 3.
Only 3.
I think the most important thing is that there's real clarity between the role of the board and the role of the CEO executive team. It's so obvious, but when those lines get blurred, it's not a pretty picture. It makes it really hard for the board to distance themselves and actually evaluate the performance of the executive team. The second thing is the sharing of data and information. I served on a board, and prior to the board meeting, they used to hand us a stack of material that thick that was all words. What boards need are numbers. Numbers that really assess the performance of the business in simple, consistent, numeric terms. Again, it seems so obvious, but I had 2 experiences where that didn't happen. It undermines the effectiveness of the board and wastes time in the board meetings. And the third thing is there needs to be real openness, honesty, and trust between the board and the executive team. The ability to share ideas, to toss things around, to have rich conversation. When those things don't happen, when people become defensive, either the board members or the executive team, it leads to a bad place.
Now, were you a board member that liked sort of the PowerPoint presentations, or was that redundant if the information was also in the board book?
I'm the kind of lady who believes you need to be shown information numerous times to have it really sink in. So I always did my homework before a board meeting, but I like crisp, clear PowerPoints at the board meeting.
Okay, so that was sort of looking at it from your negative experiences, okay?
Sort of.
Yeah. So now we always want to move to the positive. So I'm going to switch this around and we're going to go to the counter side. So from your personal experiences, what were characteristics or processes that facilitated a board being more effective?
Well, the best board experience I had, both emotionally, fulfillment-wise, and also financially, was the experience I had with Boston Proper. Although that was a privately held company, the CEO of that business, Michael Tiernan, ran it in a very grown-up, professional way. The members of the board had the skills that he needed, that the business needed. The committees were professionally set up and done and led by people who had the skills to lead them. Michael and his team consistently started every meeting with a very clear overview of what was happening in the business, good, bad, and indifferent. And then what would happen is the board would lob in suggestions, ideas, whatever. And Michael and his team were open-minded and receptive and respectful. Not only were they respectful and open-minded, but they would actually take the ideas and run with them and report back. That was the magic. That was the magic. And they would come back and they wouldn't pull any punches. They'd say, look, you gave us this idea, we tried it, didn't work. You gave us this idea, it worked, hooray. But the super magic came when Michael and his team would come back to the board and say, we took your idea, we modified it slightly to suit our needs, and it's spectacular. That's as good as it gets.
So I know it was a private company, but was there also, did you have anything like a lead director or anybody that sort of served as board leadership with that?
Good question. No, there was no lead director. The CEO of the company, Michael Tiernan, was also board chair. So yeah, is that a blurring of the lines? A bit. But again, it was a relatively small company and it was privately held.
Yeah, but it sounds like the secret sauce, if you will, was the ability to communicate, and he was sort of serving as that role, whether he was chairman or not, he was serving in the role of facilitating getting the board and management on the same page.
Yes, sort of. I'm going to twist that a little bit. The secret sauce was that Michael was open and transparent. And he shared his numbers, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He was then open-minded and receptive to the ideas of his respected board members. So a slight twist to what you said, but it worked and it was great.
So now you're starting your own company.
I am.
And you have the opportunity to take all this knowledge, and this is, help me, it's dresses only for professional women.
Right. I've opened a brand carrying the name Cynthia Fields, designed to serve the needs of professional women.
The only thing I can say to you, Cindy, is I hope that you will remember all your lessons that you've had on all these boards, so that as you're forming the governance of your own company, you will take all those lessons. So we wish you luck, certainly, with your launching.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Yep. And that will conclude this edition of Inside America's Boardrooms. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week when we take another look at a critical topic that'll help you be a better board member or committee member. So we'll see you then.
Join us again next week for Inside America's Boardrooms. Brought to you with Knowledge Partners, NASDAQ, the Center for Audit Quality, and PwC. Along with content contributors, Equilar, Meridian Compensation Partners, Wilson Sonsini Goodrich and Rosati, Donnelly Financial Solutions, and the Society for Corporate Governance.